Trump is furious. He's watching world leaders gather in China, and he's not there. No invitation, no role, completely sidelined. This is the same man who once boasted about his personal ties with Xi Jinping and Kim Jong Un. Back in his first term, he called it a friendship, bragging he could pick up the phone and make a deal anytime. But those days are gone. The smiles and handshakes have disappeared, replaced by leaders who seem done with him, tired of threats, and unwilling to play by Washington's rules. Right after the recent SCO summit, the message became crystal clear. Putin and Kim didn't head home. They went straight to Beijing to meet Xi. That wasn't coincidence. It was a staged display of unity aimed directly at Washington. Trump saw it, and his reaction spoke volumes. He accused them of plotting against the United States. After years of sanctions, tariffs, and America's first agenda, these countries have drawn their conclusion. The US can't be trusted. They are now building a future that leaves Washington on the sidelines. So the question is simple. Is Trump watching his grip on the global order slip away? Is the US being pushed aside as new alliances rise in Asia? And what does that mean for ordinary Americans if China, Russia, and North Korea move forward together beyond Washington's reach? Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe, drop a comment, and share this video. Because what's happening right now could reshape global power in a way we haven't seen for generations. This parade was unlike anything the world had seen before. It wasn't just a display of marching soldiers or colorful flags. It brought together the very countries Washington has long considered its greatest rivals. And they stood side by side, showing strength in unison. China used the stage to roll out its most advanced military hardware: submarine-launched nuclear missiles, mobile launchers, swarms of drones, and long convoys of armored vehicles. Row after row of soldiers moved in perfect formation, projecting discipline and power. The message was unmistakable. China wasn't presenting itself as a nation trying to catch up anymore. It was presenting itself as a peer, ready to meet American military power face to face. Among the most striking revelations were the hypersonic missiles. These weapons travel at speeds current US defenses can't intercept. For the Pentagon, this isn't theory. It's a nightmare scenario. Entire aircraft carrier groups, costing tens of billions of dollars to build and maintain, could be neutralized in minutes if war ever erupted. Bases that once seemed secure, from Guam to South Korea, suddenly appear exposed. This shift isn't about one parade. It's about what it represents. The balance of power in Asia tilting in a way that undermines America's security guarantees. Every promise Washington makes to defend allies like Japan or the Philippines becomes harder to fulfill without facing enormous risks. The spectacle in Beijing was a reminder that the US no longer enjoys the uncontested military edge it once claimed in the Pacific. What unsettles Washington most right now is not just China's rise, but its ability to keep its partners alive under pressure. For decades, sanctions were the weapon of choice for the US and its allies. The logic seemed unshakable. Cut a country off from global finance, restrict its access to markets, and its economy would eventually collapse. But China has changed the rules. It has not only shielded its own economy, it has built lifelines for both North Korea and Russia. Start with North Korea. The US and the G7 have tried for years to choke Pyongyang with layers of sanctions. Fuel shipments were restricted, financial channels frozen, and trade routes squeezed. On paper, it looked airtight. Yet North Korea never collapsed, and the reason is simple. China. Today, over 98% of North Korea's official trade flows through Beijing. Almost every item, food, fuel, medicine, machine parts, comes from or passes through China. In 2023 alone, trade between the two countries surged back to more than $2 billion, with imports making up the majority. That means even when the rest of the world shuts its doors, China is keeping Kim's regime supplied. Without that lifeline, the North Korean economy would collapse in weeks. With it, Pyongyang can survive indefinitely. Now turn to Russia. When the US and Europe rolled out their so-called harshest sanctions ever after the invasion of Ukraine, the expectation was economic ruin. Western banks predicted double-digit contractions, mass unemployment, and a financial freefall. But once again, China stepped in, and the results defied the forecasts. Instead of shrinking, Russia's GDP expanded by 3.6% in 2023. The drivers were clear: huge military spending, steady consumer demand, and resilient energy exports. By 2025, growth slowed but remained positive, around 1.5%. Inflation, once running at 9%, is steadily easing and could fall to 4% by 2026. In short, Russia adapted. Even its currency turned the tables on Washington. The ruble, written off as worthless by many Western analysts, has surged, gaining almost 40% this year. Meanwhile, the US dollar is showing cracks. America's national debt has crossed $37 trillion. Interest payments are swallowing the budget. Investors worldwide are questioning how long this can last. Demand for US treasuries is slowing, and nations like Saudi Arabia and Brazil are openly considering alternatives. For the first time in generations, the foundation of dollar supremacy looks unstable. For decades, Washington wielded the dollar as a weapon. Countries that stepped out of line could be cut from the SWIFT system or have their reserves frozen. That worked when the dollar was unavoidable. But Russia and China are building a parallel system. Trade between them has already passed $240 billion a year, and most of it no longer touches the dollar. Instead, payments flow in yuan and rubles. Oil, gas, food, and weapons are all exchanged outside the dollar's reach. This isn't just business. It's a deliberate effort to erode American financial dominance. Meanwhile, Russia's energy engine keeps running despite price caps and restrictions. A vast shadow fleet of tankers carries oil around the world, often above the $60 price cap, funneling billions back to Moscow. On top of that, new projects like the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline are moving ahead, set to deliver 50 billion cubic meters of gas to China every year. That pipeline alone will tie the two economies together for decades. It ensures Russia can keep exporting and China can keep powering its factories with cheap fuel, entirely beyond the control of Washington or Brussels. Step back, and a larger picture emerges. China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea are drawing closer into what some are calling CRINK. It's more than a loose arrangement. It's a parallel system of trade and support. Reports suggest North Korea has already sent rockets and even soldiers to Russia in exchange for cash, advanced weapons, and training. Iran supplies drones to Moscow. Russia delivers gas to Beijing. China fills the gaps in global markets, making sure its partners never suffocate under sanctions. Piece by piece, this alliance is building the infrastructure of an economy that does not rely on the US or the G7. This is the reality Washington doesn't want to face. Sanctions, once its sharpest tool, are losing their edge. Each round buys less impact. Each new restriction is met with new workarounds. Beijing has shown it can blunt the full force of Western pressure, not just for itself, but for its allies. That leaves an uncomfortable question. If sanctions no longer bite, what real leverage does the US have left? For decades, America counted on its ability to isolate rivals and force them into compliance. Today, that system is slipping away. China isn't just protecting its economy, it's proving it can defend its partners, even under maximum pressure. And that changes everything. What we're watching is not simply defiance of Western sanctions, but the slow dismantling of the economic order that placed Washington at the center of the world. As China, Russia, and North Korea draw closer, the costs are falling squarely on the United States. Trump's tariffs on Chinese goods were designed to undercut Beijing's economy, but the blow has landed just as hard at home. American companies are paying more for imported parts and materials, which means higher prices for consumers. Farmers, once dependent on Chinese buyers for soybeans, pork, and grain, have seen parts of that vast market disappear. What was framed as a strategy to protect American jobs has instead left key industries struggling to stay competitive. While Washington's trade ties weaken, Beijing is moving in the opposite direction, expanding. China has deepened its economic links with Russia, Africa, the Middle East, and Latin America. These relationships aren't symbolic. They are reshaping global trade patterns. One of the clearest examples is the long-discussed Russia-China gas pipeline. For years, it was little more than a blueprint. Today, construction is accelerating. Once complete, it will pump 50 billion cubic meters of Russian gas to China every year. For Moscow, it guarantees revenue despite Western sanctions. For Beijing, it locks in cheap and reliable energy to fuel its factories. The US and Europe are completely excluded from the deal, watching as their influence over global energy markets erodes. But energy is only part of the story. Through its Belt and Road Initiative, China is laying down a permanent economic footprint in regions where Washington once dominated. New ports in Africa, highways in South Asia, railways in Latin America, these projects are not just infrastructure. They are long-term commitments that tie governments to Beijing for decades. Unlike US loans and aid, which often come with demands for political reform, China's deals focus on business first. That makes them appealing to leaders weary of American lectures about democracy or human rights. The effect is cumulative. Every pipeline, port, and railway China builds strengthens its role as a central hub in global trade. Every trade dispute or tariff imposed by Washington pushes other countries further into Beijing's orbit. Instead of weakening China, US policies have accelerated the creation of alternative systems, ones where America has little say. To hold on to its position in Asia, the United States finds itself spending more on the military every year. Billions flow into new aircraft, advanced ships, and missile defense systems. Yet, despite this enormous outlay, American forces are no longer as secure as they once seemed. Each time China unveils a new missile or weapons platform, Washington responds by throwing even more money at defense, an endless cycle that drains resources without guaranteeing safety. Consider the imbalance in costs. A US aircraft carrier group requires tens of billions of dollars to build and maintain. A Chinese hypersonic missile, designed to neutralize that carrier, costs only a fraction of that. If one missile can sink a ship in minutes, the advantage clearly tilts toward Beijing. For the US, the price of maintaining dominance keeps climbing, while China forces it to play defense at a discount. This imbalance stretches far beyond the battlefield. At home, American infrastructure, roads, schools, healthcare, continues to decay. Budgets that could rebuild the country are instead funneled into weapons meant to defend bases thousands of miles away. It is a stark choice: keep spending and sink deeper into debt, or cut back and watch influence in the Pacific slip away. Either path leaves Washington weaker, while Beijing steadily gains ground. Trump's outburst about Xi, Putin, and Kim plotting against America may have sounded like bluster, but it revealed something deeper. For a man who built his political brand on strength and control, this was an unusual display of insecurity. By suggesting that these leaders are working together, Trump indirectly admitted what many already see. America's influence is eroding faster than it wants to acknowledge. And this time, Trump's usual promise that only he can strike a deal doesn't apply. Xi, Putin, and Kim no longer need US mediation. They are drafting their own agreements, forging their own alliances, and shaping a future where Washington is not invited to the table. That Beijing parade was more than military theater. It was a carefully staged warning that global power is shifting. For ordinary Americans, the consequences will not stay abstract. Tariffs mean higher prices at the checkout counter. Ballooning defense budgets mean more national debt and fewer resources for domestic needs. Respect once commanded abroad is steadily shifting toward Beijing. And perhaps most alarming, the US military balance in Asia now looks fragile. Its carriers, bases, and troops more exposed than ever before. The United States can object, it can criticize, but none of that changes reality. China is demonstrating strength, building alliances, and setting the rules. America is spending heavily, losing allies, and increasingly watching from the sidelines. So here's the real question. How long can Washington keep playing this game before the balance of power tips for good? If you want to follow where this shift leads, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and share your thoughts in the comments, because this story is only getting bigger.